वेलकम टू दी क्लास। तो आज हम देखेंगे वेक्टर अलजेब्रा। ठीक है, तो वेक्टर अलजेब्रा क्या है? सो बेसिकली देयर आर two type of quantities. One is scalar quantity, the another one is vector quantities. The difference between scalar quantity and the vector quantity is the scalar quantities only having their magnitudes. Okay, they don't have any direction specifications, but vector quantities having both direction and magnitudes. Okay, so the scalar quantities are those which having only magnitude. Okay, and the vector quantities are those which having both magnitude and direction. Okay, so for a scalar quantity having both magnitude, that is like we can say about distance. Okay, distance, then speed, work, time. These are what? Scalar quantities. Okay, then going to the vector quantities, the force is a vector quantity. Okay, force, then going to the momentum, velocity, acceleration. These are all the vector quantities which having both specification of direction as well as magnitude. Okay, now if two there are two types of product of vectors. There are two types of vector products. Okay, the first product is called scalar product or dot product. Okay, and the second type of product is cross product or vector product. Let's say there are two vectors. Vector R1, that is A1i, A1i plus B1j plus C1k, and vector R2, that is A2i plus B2j plus C2k. Okay, so these are the two vectors R1 and R2. If we do the scalar product of these two vectors, that is vector R1 dot vector R2, we will get scalar product. मतलब क्या होता था? Scalar product means all the respective quantities are multiplied with it. That is A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus of C1 C2. Okay. So I can also write scalar product of vector R1 dot R2 will be equals to magnitude of R1, magnitude of R2, cos of angle theta, where theta is denoting the angle between R1 and R2. Angle between theta is angle between R1 and R2. Okay. Similarly, for the cross product, that is if vector R1 is cross product with vector R2, what will happen? I have to form a determinant. Okay. So we have to write I, J and K over here. We have to write A1, B1, C1, A2, B2 and C2. Okay. So we can also write that is magnitude of vector R1, magnitude of vector R2, sine of theta, where theta is the angle between them, and n cap. N cap is the angle that is unit vector in the direction of multiplication of both the vectors. And always remember, if this is vector R1 and if this is vector R2, if they are cross multiplied, then we will get a resultant vector which will be perpendicular to both the vectors. Okay, so the resultant vector will be perpendicular to both the vectors for vectors R1 and R2. So if I observe the result, it will be I B1 C2 minus B2 C1 minus J cap A1 C2 minus C1 A2 plus K cap, that is A1 B2 minus B1 A2. Okay, So basically these are the results for the vectors. Okay, this is the vector dot product and this one is the vector. So thank you, we'll meet in the class.